Here we go. Welcome to tonight's stream. Like I also mentioned before in the chat, I just noticed that we have oh Christ, that lime in the microphone's loud tonight. 2 seconds. Is that better? Yeah, it's a lot better. Or maybe keep the boost and just turn it down if I'm not such an idiot. Something like that. Yeah, that's much better. I just figured out we bought a new driver last time. Name was Baba Jones. Actually a pretty well experienced guy. Changed some of the drivers around. Resulted in, I think it was Rico Romano being moved to car 2, as far as I remember, because he used to be on car 1. And we're looking at replacing Mia Novak here with another driver as soon as we can. The team, me, team principal, of course. Lead designer here, we also hired him last time around, but I think we hired him in the beginning before the Italian race. We're in the middle of constructing a design center. We already got the factory up and running. We're now constructing the design center. I'm gonna have to take a little bit notice of the money here because we're running low on money, like really fast at the moment. You can see we've been up to 22 million. We just recently signed some new sponsors, and I can see that there were messages here about new sponsors being available, and we have one slot for the fixed payments left here that we can fill out, and I'm not gonna take any of these. It's I'll only accept 2-star offers now that we're on the 2-star sponsor appeal level. And the reason we're on that sponsor appeal level is we did rather well in the last race. It was raining, and I didn't get to put on the intermediate tires, although I wanted to, but I didn't put those on. And since I didn't put those on, we flew through the field in like very few laps. We were actually close to a lap ahead of the leading cars in our field, but the car is not good enough to maintain that position, so we made all of that. We actually made that result on having a very lucky tire choice. So I wouldn't expect the guys to be able to go out and make a result like that again. That's also why it was very important for me to change the drivers and get a better driver, because we really, I can't stress this enough, we really need to pick up on that good result. We need to drive home podium finishes for one of the cars for the rest of the season if we are to keep this budget alive. In 11 hours I got a scouting detail coming in on this guy, semi-young, a South Korean. I think he might be a pay driver too, or this Suran Kim might actually be. This will help as long as we got good pay drivers. That will actually keep us afloat. I don't know if no, Bubba Jones is not a pay driver. I've seen pay drivers be really good, and you can get as much as 600,000 per race from those guys. So yeah, this is his addiction thing. It's gonna go away in 13 weeks. That one is gonna disappear. Now to some of the other stuff that's going around here that's not actually the live stream. The Christmas beer for tonight. Let's just hello there. Tonight's Christmas beer is present you with, now I know this is called fur, but it's not fur like fur in English. It's actually a little island in the northern part of Denmark. I think it would I think it would translate to something like a ravine or some kind of ditch, like dug up like a trench or something. I do not know why they chose to call the island trench or ravine or ditch or whatever, but it's not fur, it's not the hairy thing. And they make this, if you can see, it's volcano Christmas brew. And the reason for the volcano, it's not like it's gonna explode in your mouth. The reason for the volcano Christmas brew is they filtered this through volcanic rock. And as you might see from the cap here, I've cheated. I've been here before today because I had to taste this before the stream. And here we go. It's got some lovely color to it, like a Christmas beer should have. The kind of dark caramelized malt creates this dark color. And when you see this in a normal beer, you expect a little bit strong, a little bit more bitter caramelized taste, like the Guinness hat that I'm wearing. But this hasn't got that. It's very sweet and very nice. This is very good for recreational drinking, as I would have it. Cheers. So guys, back to the thing that we're here for. Back to the game. What I'm supposed to do now is actually we're fixing the car, and I don't even think I have very many parts that I can improve on. We created a new gearbox. We are going to have to use more money creating the different parts of the car and upgrading those. We do not have particularly good race mechanics, but our original race mechanics had only 1 star, so yeah, these guys are better. Performance wise, we want to work on the gearboxes, the best gearboxes. Suspension is not an issue at the moment. We should continue this. So this takes us straight to the Ardennes race. That scouting was supposed to be done before the race, but I see now that it's not. So this is a setup that we're going to have to go to the race with. Now, if we can finish first in class and I can fulfill this Northern sponsorship here, that will bank us 800,000 on the account. You can see right now, without a sponsor, the race is going to cost us 2.1 million euros, or nearly 2.2. So if I put this in there and we fulfill this goal and win, it's going to be 1.5, but that's not, I don't think it's realistic. So we're going to go with the Wan Chai sponsorship, and it's going to cost us 1.7 million per race, and I suspect we can keep this level up. And we got 9 races left, so that you can see that we need to bring in more money to make that go around. Tire choices for this race. I always like to have a good selection of the hardest available compound. We need super softs for the qualifying. We need to bring 2 drivers out in the qualifying, so we need about 4 sets of the super softs for qualifying. And then let's just fill the rest up. Let's actually do that in reverse order on both cars. Let's just fill the rest up with soft tires. Parts, let's just make sure that we have the best parts on both cars. Are we racing that gearbox and we're racing this gearbox? It's less optimized, but it's gonna last better. So this for reliability, and the performance level is 1 or 2 points. So 1 is the worst you can actually get, and 100 is not the best. It's just the level of the spec part. You can get parts that are... So this, like the engine level here, this is 100, and it can go all the way up to here. I think 1000 is max, and we got parts that have performance level 1. So we are pretty bad on the equipment side, but we are pretty good on the driver side, and we're pretty good on the pit crew side. Actually, when I say pit crew, let's just check those guys out for stamina. They all look pretty good. We can easily continue with that. We got the best parts, we got the right tires, we got everything ready for going to the it's the Belgian race. This is supposed to be like the Spa circuit, or the game's version of the Spa circuit. Here we go. Looks nice. And Christmas beer, cheers. And like the chat says, this is going to be a regular Monday thing. We're going to run this series every Monday. Sorry about the long loading times. I don't know what's happening. It used to load way faster than this. This is an animation of the track. Some tight turns and hairpins. Setup preferences. This car will be the fastest if we could somehow balance this between Jaeger and Bubba Jones, but we can't. So I suspect we'll have to balance this on Bubba. No. Let's balance it all the way towards Kurt, because that's going to make the car fastest. And down here, my cam is definitely the fastest driver. Ricky Romano is the second fastest, but since those guys aren't beside each other, I don't know. This is not the driver lineup, because in the driver lineup he is the second driver, so I don't know. Maybe we have to change this around to see if it affects the driving setup. But if we want this car to go as fast as it possibly can, we're gonna have to favor my cam down here too. He is probably going to be the driver that's in the car for the longest time. And that might be the way to balance it, to look at during the race what driver is going to be in the car for the longest time. If you could read a little bit out of the differences here, the cars are completely equal. So if you can read just a little bit out of this, it says that handling is supposed to be towards understeer, and the downforce is just a little bit preferred towards high. So let's try and set the cars up that way. Driver to start is going to be Kurt. He's going to take all the practice, or at least most of it. Just go 16-16, and this was supposed to go towards understeer, and we can do that by adjusting 63% here. And I don't think top speed is gonna be that, but something like that might be a correct setup for this track. We are going to practice on the mediums, since we are going to be using those. So we're going to use this set of mediums here for the practice. Same setup on the sister car. We're gonna have my cam in the car. We're gonna go 26, 26, or 2616, sorry. We're gonna go 63% harder suspension, and we're gonna go top speed like right around there. Tire choice again, medium tires. I think we're now ready for the practice session. Let's get the guys on track. There we go. Don't they look nice? Let's send out Jaeger. We already did all the car setup. Everything's ready. The only thing we have to check is that he's doing race setup stints for 4 laps. And the tires are medium, so let's send him out with that. Let's immediately after that send my cam out, check the same thing. He's run race trim, 4 laps, tire choice medium, so let's go. We are not gonna let him do 4 laps, we're gonna let him do 1 timed lap and then pull them in. Let's try and follow Jaeger instead. And while we're waiting for the guys to do a good lap, cheers, the Christmas brew. We're gonna keep these guys at the usual strategy level. That's neutral medium. We're not gonna have them push or anything odd. It's starting to rain. It doesn't look like it's going to rain more than it is right now, but it might be enough to damp out the track. There it is. Well, from the experience of the last track, this is not enough to warrant a switch to the intermediates, and definitely not wet tires. Coming through the last turns here before coming up on this sort of bended, but it's a backstretch with a few turns, and then coming across the finish line for a 150 something, 149.9. Right then, bring him in. And Ham also did his lap, so let's bring him in also. And that's actually the fastest time right now. Although not by it's 0.09 seconds faster than second place. Well, if we can do good laps like that with this strategy level on medium push, it's looking actually rather promising. Let's speed this up. Jaeger coming into the pits. Let's see what he has to say about the pit stop. Or, sorry, not the pit stop, the setup. Yeah, we actually hit that pretty good. So that was a good guess. So the understeer, oversteer handling is smack on. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move the gear ratio towards a little bit more top speed, and we are going to adjust to 16.5 and 26.5 for downforce, and let's see what this creates. Should we keep Jaeger in the car, or do we want to switch over to Bubba Jones? Let's try Bubba Jones. Let's give him a go in the car. He's got good feedback skills. So, same answer on the other car. My cam comes in and says exactly the same things about the car 2 setup. So let's try and do something different on that car. Let's try and lower that to 25.5 and 15.5 on the downforce. I know we may need slightly longer gears, but let's try and push that to a little bit more moderate here. We still got excellent on the setup. Yeah. Keep him in the car and let's send him out on the same set of mediums. The raining is stopped and the car track is now drying up again. So since car 2 is not doing a driver change, my cam will be out way faster this time. First guy on track. And now the faster time, since the track's drying up, they're setting faster times now, but we're still in P3, which is the goal. Now we got pushed out of the podium. Well, cheers again. While these guys are doing the warm-up lap, maybe we can go to this, and I'll again introduce tonight's Christmas brew. This is the fur, not referring to a hairy piece of leather, but a small Danish island in the northern part of Denmark. And volcano refers to that this beer has been run through volcanic rocks as sort of a filtering process on it, and this just says Christmas brew. Taste of it: fruity, sweet, good for, like, I would say recreational drinking. Something that you would drink while sort of gaming this stuff, or otherwise like watching a good movie or something to get into that nice Christmas spirit. This would actually be pretty perfect. Let's go back to the game and see how the guys are doing. Ham's nearing the end of his first timed lap. The lap times are not really that interesting this time around. Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, Claudio. By the way, it's only 6.2% alcohol, so it's not like you would see some Danish Christmas brews that climb like 8 or 9%. When they make Christmas beer, it's actually pretty much always much stronger, or double as strong as normal beer, but this one is really not. It's like 50% stronger than a normal beer. So you're not gonna get completely wasted by drinking this. Let's bring in the guys again and look at what they have to say about the setup. I've also got like little cookies and peanuts for refreshments here. One of them is actually I know a friend of mine called Lars. It's his favorite cookie, the Bastone cookie. This might be a little bit too sweet for the Christmas beer, but it's okay. So we went from good to excellent. Only thing that went worse was actually the speed balance, which we're then of course going to have to change. I want to put Kurt Jäger back in the one car. So you can hover the mouse over the old setups here and see kind of the development. We are at 95%, which is always kind of my goal. It's 95% accuracy, so we can only make this even better. I want to go back and check out the other car, which says OK, and that had an even short. We set that up for a shorter gear shift, if I remember properly. Yeah, we did. We set that up way shorter, so it actually needs to be longer than this, which is a level about here. Let's compare that to that and just take notice that this is actually longer than it was before. And we don't want to change, sorry about that, we don't want to change anything else about the setup. We only want to do like that, and then we want to put another driver in this car too. So let's send out Rico in this car. And then we want to do the same changes to the one car. So we need just one more click of longer gear ratios. Stint length same, tire choice same. Let's just send them out. And unpause the game. One car goes back on track, ahead of a Golf liveried car. At least it looks like that from this distance. The mint blue and orange. So apparently car 1 managed to take back second place in class, which is nice. Car 2 has fallen way down to last place in class, but I don't think they're gonna stay there for long. And it's raining again, and it's still not going to be bad enough to warrant any more changes. And I think we are pretty much on a setup that's good enough to go to race session now, so we won't be doing anything more about the setup. We're just going to let these guys race around the track to collect experience. You can see at the top of the screen up here how they are unlocking medium tires and race trim knowledge. This makes them go faster on this tire and in this trim. Oh, they're giving back good comments, but you can't really use those radio comments for very much at the moment. And I was watching on the forums that they might want to do like proper spoken radio feedback commands, so that when the drivers give feedback, it's actually like a voice that comes up and says, instead of just a text box like that. I think we should just speed this up and let this, just have this session expire. Get a couple more laps in. Times 12. Yeah, down to the final minute. We definitely need drivers with more feedback skill in car number 2, because these guys are just, they're way too bad at it. They're just not gathering enough data. 2 seconds off the pole and about a second down to 3rd place. I don't think it's not completely bad. Oh, half a second down. So they actually did a 47.4 and a 47.5 for us, and a 47.8 for the car behind. This car number 1 is actually doing pretty good. So what they have in the game here is kind of a simulated Twitter debate thing. Like, you can see what different people are writing. And a guy here who's in love with Kurt Jaeger, which is my number 1 driver on the 1 car. So why a guy would want to marry Kurt Jaeger? Well, that's more about him, I think. Anyway, on to qualifying session. Car 1. What drivers do we want in car 1? Of course, we want Kurt Jaeger and Bubba Jones to do the qualifying in car 1. We want Rico Romano and Mike Ham to do the qualifying in car number 2. Yes, we should add some knowledge here. We're not going to race on medium tires, but it's the only thing that we can add here. So if we accidentally need to go on medium tires, we have that 10% performance increase. Car setup. For reasons unknown, what's the difference here between these setups? So car number 1 is at 81%. Car number 2 is at 69%, and that needs to go to at least 81%. That can't be right. It just can't possibly be right. I think this car needs to go lower. We're still at the 95% optimal, so we may want to just do small experiments here. Of course, they need to be on the super soft, and we can confirm that and send him out. This car needs one more click. Like that. Don't know why. Basically it's the same cars. I think the only thing that's different is the gearbox, and I don't think the gearbox does that much of change to where the preferred setting should be. But you never know, that might actually be, since it is the gearbox, that might actually be a thing. Both cars now ready for the qualifying, and there is the sponsor objective now. Let's finish 5th above to trigger those 225,000 euro bonus. And we are ready, so we are just going to send the guys straight out. It's car number 1 out, and immediately after that car number 2. Be the first cars on track. If we're lucky, we can get in some laps before it really starts getting wet, and we're gonna need wet tires. Let's auto manage the heat level here. The auto manage does nearly as good a job at it as I can. It, as good as nearly never misses the tire temperature, it always gets that perfect. But the brake temperatures is just, I can't match it either. It's very, very hard to do that so that both temperatures are perfect. But on this track it might actually be possible. It's a long distance from the last hard braking point to... yeah, it's gonna be hard to get the temperatures right. Yeah, we're almost up to soak now. And it wouldn't matter very much if I did this qualifying on wet tires, because it's gonna dry up very fast after this again. It's just a small shower. The way this works is that it takes an average time of both drivers in the car. So in both cars we need to have both drivers, and both drivers need to set a time, and it then takes the average, and that's the time that we will be ranked for. And it's only gonna stay wet for like 2 more minutes. So this is the only level, when it's all the way up at the top, this is the only level where it's best to run the full wet tires. Other than that, as soon as it gets to about 30%, it's intermediates all the way up to fully soaked track. And from the guys that set a lap, we are actually still doing pretty good. This time it's the 2 car that's actually set the best time, so Romano is obviously good driver in the wet. Or maybe it is his current form or motivation here that's just 2.5 points better. That might have done the influence. So we got the guys back in. I just want to move a little data around here so that it looks better when we're in race session. We need to look at these guys and how they thought about the setup. So this was the one that was moved towards more speed, more top speed, and they still think that's great right there. It might need one more click, but I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that with some... Nope, I think we can do it better with some camber. Nope. It's actually only possible by doing this. And then let's take on Bubba Jones. Tire choice, stay on the same super soft tires, and send out Bubba Jones. Car 2. Excellent, excellent, good. Speed balance, that level was good. That was okay. That was good. That was okay. We're back to good. But if we move it too far back, like that, we only get okay. So we actually need to go in opposition to what these guys say and move it all the way up to 75%. Okay. Change of drivers here too. Mike Ham in the car. Same tires. Send out the guys. Now it's drying down pretty fast, so next lap times are going to be very fast, and we're going to need to try and get Kurt Jaeger and Mike M back in the car again after this, so that we can get a new time from the two number one drivers. Track's pretty congested now. I think it's this sort of thing that everybody's just doing the same. The same routines. There's an out lap, a time lap, and an in lap, and then they changed things on the setup or change driver, and then the same out lap, time lap, in lap again, which creates the same kind of gaps between all the cars, so we're all doing the same thing on track at the same time. Let's pour some more of this now famous Christmas beer. That'll be the last of it, but cheers, guys. You've got to be kidding me. We are actually in 1 and 2 now by a margin of 5 seconds, and we haven't even had like, that was the guys. Half this time is accounted for by cars on wrong tires for the wrong situation on track, for the wrong weather conditions. And we are still 1 and 2 by 5 seconds. That's not only impressive, that's just bonkers. Something tells me that we're gonna grab pole here now, because the other guys don't have to be that much faster now to keep that time. And it's still car 2 that's the fastest, so Bubba Jones didn't really do... Well, he could have done better. Well, we went down to good by changing the gear ratios again, so we're going to change that back. Seems we can't just hit excellent on that one. Let's go with a different set of tires, and we need Kurt Jaeger back in the car. I think that's about it. So car 1 out on track again as soon as they're finished doing their setup. So that went to great now. So that went from good to great. It's 97% now, so I don't think we have to do much more about the setup on that one. Run a new fresh set of tires, and we are changing to Rico Romano again. So that's everything on this car. Let's just hope it doesn't start to rain again. I'm just moving a bit of stuff around here. I'm trying to make everything look as good as possible. Might be this time that Romano is actually in the way of Jaeger, so he can't get in a proper time, because cold and overheated versus good and good. Romano might actually be faster. Still. Let's see if we can keep this 1-2. I would be very surprised if we can. Man, Jaeger's really battling Romano for position here right now. That's really stupid on a qualifying lap. Don't push each other, guys. You're only gonna lose time. So now we're ahead by 13 seconds. That's actually pretty dramatic. That's quite a performance. Let's see if we can just quickly send out the cars with the same setup and just a little. No, it's 14 seconds. We can't make that. Just doesn't matter. That means only the cars under us here do have. Okay, they didn't improve. So these are the only cars that actually can improve their time, and they're still behind us by 5 seconds. The two cars that actually did a better time. Kumar's coming around. And he's in a bunch of P1 cars, so or Class A cars. So that might have ruined his time. Nope. He didn't do it either. Neither did Baldwin or Fedora. But Darian's in now. Only one car left until we have this 1-2 finish. Finish this lap there, didn't improve, didn't make any time better than us either. So we're actually in 1 and 2 by 5 seconds. Just by sticking to slick tires at the first part of the qualifying instead of changing to intermediates or wets. Even though that was the wrong tire. Just because it started to dry up. It's insane. It's pretty insane, I'd say. So overall finishing for the two cars, Romano Ham actually out qualified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Class A cars, and we're actually made a time that's good enough to start third overall. Wow. But they split the groups up, so that's not happening. We're just gonna start 1 and 2 in class. People are glad to see us doing well, and it's deserved. Good effort from iBite Endurance Racing today. They'll be hoping for something even better tomorrow. I don't think you can do anything better than a 1-2. So that's obviously a fault in the game engine here. You can't say a fan would hope for something better than a 1-2 because you can't finish any better than 1-2. So that's BS. Yeah, I also fancy ourselves for a win tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Don't get our hopes up too high. So, race session. Cars lined up on the grid there in formation lap start order. And now it's time to use the race trim and medium tires experience that practice, put that up to a good use for our 20% performance boost that we get by doing that. Check out the car setups, it's as good as we can get them. Driver setup now, driving style. We are going to have the guys push from the beginning, and we're going to run a high fuel burn. And actually we should look into the amount of fuel on the cars. That should at first stint always be fully fueled. So that's what we're gonna go with. Let's go to, and we are of course not racing on the super softs. We're gonna race on mediums. So make sure we have those selected fuel options full. Okay, so it was car 2, yeah, of course. Rico Romano in the car. Car setup is good. Tire choice, mediums, fuel options full. Yes. And we're good. We're ready for the race. Strategy is set up. Right tires, right amount of fuel. Let's go. Here's a look at the starting orders. Class A, Class A. And actually, it is not a separated grid. You actually start in the position that you qualify in. So we are starting 3rd overall on the grid. Are you kidding me? This is insane. I have not seen this happen. Ever. And then 7th place overall, car number 2. No, it's car number 1 starting in 7th place and car number 2 starting in 3rd place overall. Actually reversed order. I'm not expecting these guys to be able to hold this position because obviously the drivers on car number 1 and the quality of car number 1's components is just better. Where's the second B class car all the way down here, 15 on row 8. Not much more to be said about that. They just didn't do good enough. Now's the time to always keep watching the tire temperatures. Want to keep them in the middle here, as close to the middle as possible. That is why we are running a slightly pushing strategy here in the start to get the temperatures up. White lights on the Class A cars, yellow lights on the Class B cars. Nice little detail in the game. And we're not gonna be able to keep up this position because the Class A cars have 200 horsepower more than we do. But let's just see what happens. Hope that we don't get run off in the first corner. And we are about to go green. And there we go. Cheers. Immediately, right away, the guys are complaining about getting overtaken by Class A cars. But I don't think they should really be doing that. They've also kind of stupidly, I see them do this all the time, like when they're defending they go to the outside in the corners and that just has them. They get run over. It's so easy to overtake apparently for the AI on cars that are on the outside. The inside lane is just always quicker. So, another car, Adams there is really going up through the field. He like slingshot on the outside. It doesn't always look completely realistic when these cars overtake. That was the speed. If you could do that in every corner, why not just do it? Well, we took the position back now, so it doesn't really matter. Perhaps the game realized he got that position by doing something that wasn't quite right. And the guy in second place right now actually has a penalty. So he's got a stop and go penalty that he needs to go and take. There we go. I don't know for what he got that, but let's speed it up. We are through the first few essential laps here. And we're going to be fighting for the top 3 positions all the way through the race now, I think. We need to go down strategy on tires because the tires are starting to get really hot. Our car is obviously the fastest on the straights and not so good in the more twitchy parts, whereas some of the other cars in the field are much better in the twisty parts. That was Jaeger defending his position there. He was really on the attack for almost half a lap, but then ended up defending it nicely. There we go, lost second place again. This time to Hanwen. But let's see when we get around to the straight part here. Now Hanwin is actually pretty fast on the straight too. Now looking at trying to attack Romano. That's the first 10 minutes of the race. And I think we're going to need to speed this up. Oh, Hanwin got a stop and go penalty now too. And Romano is saying sorry that he crashed into him, but well, that only gave Hanwin a penalty, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Or was he saying that Hanwin crashed into him? Maybe we should check the condition of that car. No, everything is good and in working order. So 15 minutes into the race and we are still 1-2. Well, if we didn't have the pace, we would be falling back down through the field now, and they're obviously not doing that. So I think for some weird reason we actually have the pace now to stay at the hot end of the field now. We are in the fired up zone now on cold tires, so we should go push and overtake mode. And we're actually in fired up mode on both drivers, so let's go push and overtake. Immediately the Jaeger goes into the lead. And it looks like just around the time that we need to pit the cars, it's going to start to rain. We're going to have to follow that development. Jaeger's pulling away now, as he should be when he's in his fired up zone. Gonna keep a close eye on the tire temperatures now. It's about using this fired up zone to push the engine strategy to overtake while they're in that zone where they're performing at their best. And obviously run the tire strategy as... I'm sorry, I just tried stopping and starting the broadcasting software because obviously something was wrong there. It was losing frames like crazy. So, we're back. Let's press play again. I hope we don't lose the guys on Facebook. Yeah, we did. So we're going to... So we're going to stick to the slick tires as long as possible. And this is actually great for the time that Romano's in the car, because his stamina and endurance here is really starting to fall down. Tire temperatures are back to normal. That's a good thing. Romano is being caught up by some of the Class A cars. Oh no! Driving mistake by Rico Romano. He locked up a tire. Oh, he's not driving with a flat spot. And the second in Class B car was right behind him. Yeah, he lost the place now. It's good old Adams, and now he lost one more place. Well, they are both on softer tires, and I don't know how they make those tires last so long. Our car is obviously a lot more abrasive on the tires than those guys. But Adams is going to have to pit really soon. Rico Morano does another driving mistake. I think his stamina is just getting too low. We want to wait until Adams has pitted. His tires are not looking that good. Looks like we can go for an even more pushy driving style here for Jaeger. We're still 4 seconds ahead. He wants to go in for inters now because the track's damp, but nope, we're gonna ignore that and we're gonna have you stay out for a little bit longer. And we're going to, on the next lap, yeah, that was Adams going in, I think. At least some of the guys in the field are now in the pit. We're going to pit Romano on the next lap. We're going to put Mike Ham in the car. We're going to go for inters. And we're going to fuel for... How many laps do we have fuel for right now? I think we should go for something like 45 laps. So we need to fuel a bit right now. Part conditions, no repairs, strategy, we're going to go with a fast pit stop. Take the risk, 24%. Well, 1 in 4 times it's going to go wrong. But we can afford that. Yeah, he's actually ruining his tires right now, but that doesn't really matter. They don't have to last that long. And then, Jaeger, on the next lap, we're gonna bring you in. And we're gonna put Bubba Jones in the car, and we're gonna give him intermediate tires, and we're gonna fuel him for 45 laps. With a fast pit strategy, that's a 43-second pit stop. Yes. So Jaeger should be coming into the pits right now. They're changing the tires right now. Tire change is finished, fueling is done, and pit stop done. And we should have Jaeger come in right now, right after that. That's from the lead. Changing tires. And fueling. And that's it. Pit stop over and out, and we're out in the middle, back out in the middle of the field. Well, these guys ahead of us obviously haven't pitted yet, but they are going to need to, because it's going to get more and more and more and more wet from now on. So I really do hope we're on the right tire strategy now. We can see if this is getting lower, we're on the right tire strategy. If it gets higher, we're on the wrong one. Right now it's staying at about 54 seconds. 55. Maybe we should have run just a little bit longer on the medium tires. Nope, it's coming down now. It was perfectly right. And the front guy in front pits now. The leading car is in the pit now. I'll be surprised if we don't take back the lead now. Or at least end up ahead of Adams, who was the guy that led the race. Yeah, driving right past him. There we go. It would be really, really good if Ham continues and runs by the pit too. Oh, it's close. Oh! That's out right ahead of him. So he actually picked up that place with a faster pit stop. That's good. That's really good. He picked up 2 places. And it really looks like he's going faster right now. A couple of the other cars ahead of us are pitting. And Ham's moving ahead of those 2. Maybe Adams in the leading car just had a very long pit stop. But we can't push these tires as hard as we're doing right now. And Bubba needs to push them harder to keep them hot. That's just the difference between driving styles of each individual driver. So Jones is actually right now about half a lap ahead of Ham, and yeah, that's just all down to his driving, I think. His current form is also pretty good for a guy that just got into the car 9.0. It's going to get more wet, so the inters are going to get better and better. Leading car is still on medium tires. The guy ahead of Ham is still on medium tires. And he's obviously, Kunkorn here, he's obviously losing time right now. Because he's on the wrong tires. Fedora just pitted from the lead, which puts Jones back into the lead. Ham's up to 5th place. We're doing pretty good. Looks like Jones finally gets some heat in those tires. 13-second lead. That was before the pit stop. I think about, if I remember correctly, it was a 9-second lead. And the rain just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, Jones is actually getting 2 hot tires right now. We need to put him back to neutral. Ham's doing just fine. Ham's in his fired up zone, so we need to put him up to overtake and push. See if we can't catch up with the car in 16th place or 4th place in class. He's going 0.3 second, almost 0.3 second faster this time. He'll be almost a full second faster every lap right now. Let's watch the tires are getting bad now. Stop that before it gets really bad. He's still 4 seconds behind, but at least he pulled a second away from the car behind him, or 3 seconds now nearly. Jones is actually losing a bit of time now. The car behind us now, only 9 seconds behind him. And he's about ready to change to a new tire strategy again. I think so actually is Ham over here. Put his driving style back to push. Look at those tire temperatures go up really, really fast. It's a shame he can't drive with that fired up thing on all the time. Oh, that was it. Now Coburn ahead of him is in his fired up mode, so can't really catch him now. And Ham's form is just awful. And if you're watching and you're wondering, the class that we're driving in compares to the Le Mans Prototypes 2 class, or LMP2 class. It's the second fastest prototype class. And we're driving races with only prototype cars on the track, and the other cars are the LMP1 cars, so the cars that you see with a Class A logo on them coming up to overtake us, like that one. It's actually a car from a faster class, so we're not really in direct competition with those guys. We are, however, in direct competition with this red car behind him here. That's Piccolo in 18th place. The guy right behind us on car number 2 here. And Mike Ham's personal form here is now getting dreadful. It might be because he doesn't like to drive in the rain. But it's a really big problem because he needs to be like... He still has like 20 minutes left in the car, so... if we need to stick to a strategy here, he needs to stay in the car. Ah, Pino has got a drive-through penalty. That's actually not the guy in the car right now, so who is that? It's one of the Class A drivers, okay. Ah, the little flashing icon there beside that Class A car signals that he's using his hybrid system. It's like an overtake button or overtake mode that the Class A cars have. And that was why he was just all of a sudden very, very fast. Jones is getting under pressure now. Only 3 seconds lead, 3-second lead now. You can start to use more tires, and so can you. And you might also start using the car a little bit more. That goes for you as well. Oh, we're almost 2 hours into the race, and all the parts condition, everything looks just fine. We can easily make it to the end of the race on this. And we are on full use now, and Jones just got into his fired up zone, so let's see what he can do now. Just immediately improves his sector 1 by 0.8 of a second. Oh, sorry, that was the lap time. Yeah. Now he's actually so fired up, he's competing with the Class A cars now. Yes, and of course Ham is complaining. And complaining. And more complaining. Yeah, you're running your tires too hard, I know. Sorry about that. And Mike Hampson now again in a series of driving mistakes, just like Rico did in the car before him. They're just not good enough. My drivers in car 2 are just not good enough. Bubba Jones now complains about worn tires. Yeah, I know, but you're gonna have to finish your fired up time. Ham is now almost up to an hour in the car. We're gonna need intermediates for the next stint too. So Ham, that'll be your last lap. That'll be pit in for car number 2 next time around. We're gonna put Novak in the car, although she's way below her fired up zone. She's just not well prepared for this race. She can't actually reach it right now because her stamina just won't ever go high enough up to let her reach that. 66 is the max. Oh, she needs to get fired. I need to fire that driver. Damn it. New set of intermediates, fuel for 40 laps. All parts are great. New fast pit stop, 53 second pit stop, yeah. Yeah, drivers in car number 2 are basically just crap. Ah. Damn it. Let's follow Ham in on his in lap here. He is just barely keeping ahead. Of the car in 21st position. It looks like it's leveling out inside the next hour. The raining, of course, is what I'm talking about. Jones just got overtaken now, even though he's in his fired up zone. That's not really what I want to see happen. Let's just attack. Let's kill the last of the tires on this guy's car. And then let's get him in on the next lap around. because the tires just don't have more life in. Maybe he's able to take that position back, maybe not. Let's have him pit. We need to put Caroline Anderson in the car. New set of intermediates, fuel option for 40 laps. That's it. All parts are fine. Fast 52-second pit stop. So Mir Novak on track now in car number 2. And a Class A car is in the way now, so Jones won't have any opportunity to overtake or take that position, the first place back again. Anyway, we should be glad to finish in the top 5. Wow, he did overtake. He did take the position back. There. But man, he's also wrung the life out of those tires. They're just completely and utterly finished. 3% left. Well, that's a problem for him, because if he uses so much tire, and the car uses so much tire, that we can't even use all of his stamina. Ah, mistake on the front jack. That's going to cost some extra time. And fuel in the car. That's it, back on track. And perhaps Caroline shouldn't run with an attack driving style right away. Like a tire temp is just exploded. So where's Anderson in this scandal now that the other cars should start to pit also? Let's see, here's Walner first. And she went by Walner and a bit more. Walner still. That's Kuma in that car. I think she is very, very close to having the lead still. When everybody's had the same number of pit stops in just a few laps. Richter's in the pits. Just gonna go by him too. Yeah. Oh, 2 cold tires over here. I need Novak back on the right driving style. Immediately the temperature's climbing. Anderson's looking good, and soon she will be coming into her fired up zone. Another one of the LMP1 cars is getting a stop and go penalty. Coburn in the pits. And Caroline passes through. leading Class A car now coming up behind us here. She's in a fired up zone. Let's use some tires. So, Gasper's in the pit now. See if she takes over the lead. And we're back in the lead by 6 seconds. So another 6 seconds there on the pit stops. That's actually not too bad, and she is putting some distance in. Yeah, I can see that. You're running way too hard on those tires. I'm sorry, not paying attention. And so are we over here. And how's the weather looking? It's coming down. It's gonna be very, very close that we can change to a slick tire next time around and gain time by doing it. Wow, Caroline's just really putting in some good laps now. 10 seconds ahead. She's actually created even a bigger gap. Yeah, the fuel's way low because the race is much longer. Then you can run. She's actually already been in the car for half an hour. Now that we are reducing speed here, the guy behind seems to be catching up just a little bit, or is he? No? No, not really. We're still maintaining the 10 second, nearly 10-second lead. For some reason, Mia is really using a lot more fuel. See the levels here. Oh, she's still on the burn strategy. Maybe she shouldn't be that. I think she's going down too high here in neutral. Is the correct strategy. But she's almost out of stamina. Rico Romano is actually pretty well back up on his stamina. So he's about ready to get in the car. But we want to push the time in car here to get as close to the hour as possible. Actually, Anderson is also really, really nice on the tires. Nine laps left for Novak as she drops to 23rd place. "12-second lead now. We are just building that lead. That's actually the best I've seen and best I've done in any race. This is just amazing. And it's not like the game's easy or anything. It's actually pretty damn hard. 5 laps left. And where's she on track? And she's getting so very, 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 very... Yeah, I know your tires are getting bad. I know. But we need to run as long as possible, and then we need to get back on the medium tires, because now it's getting less and less and less and less wet. And she needs to do one more lap, so next lap for Novak, then it's in. We put Rico Romano back in the car, we go on to a fresh set of medium tires, fuel for 40 laps. Parts, conditions, everything is looking a-okay. Fast pit stop, yes, let's do it. And she's now on low stamina, I know. So we'll see if the slick tires can keep up. Mistake on the front jack again. That's twice in the same race. Fuel in the car and back out. Let's see how Anderson is doing. She's complaining about worn tires, and that's pretty much okay. She just needs to do just about one more lap. So next time around, pit stop for car number 1. Let's put Kurt Jaeger back in the car. Tire choice, medium tires. Fuel option, 40 laps. Parts, everything, that's even looking even better than the other car. A fast pit stop, yes. How is Romano looking on the lap times? We won't know this time around. So let's see his first sector time, to see if the medium tires are the correct choice. Where is that sector? That's also a thing that's pretty annoying. They don't have the sector marks up here on the map. So he's 2.8 seconds faster than his last sector 1. Medium tires is definitely the right choice. And it will be for the rest of the race, I think. So this will gain us even more time if that assessment here by 2.3 seconds is actually correct. But the more time that goes now is actually only going to favor our choice here even more. Fueling, and there we go. Yeah, you're saying that, but wait until you see how fast you can go on these tires in just a few minutes. For some reason, both drivers are going to be fast, and they're both going to be complaining about that they want to go in for inters. It just doesn't make sense. There we go. It just completely stopped raining. So now it's just a question of the track drying up. And that it's going to dry up very, very fast now. So actually Adams was the car that was the leading, and we actually came out 2 seconds behind him, so we actually lost some time by doing this, but I think that's going to come back to us. I'm not sure if Jaeger can keep up with Adams ahead, since he's on the super softs. But I think we're gonna pretty much overtake everybody else. By now the medium tires are definitely faster than, or slick tires are definitely faster than everything else. But that car ahead is like really soft on the tires. I have no idea how they do that. Kerncon was just in the pits with a pit stop with repairs, so he's now fallen completely through the field. And Jaeger still only 2 seconds behind Adams, so we're definitely still in provisional third place. But what's going to determine everything is actually how long time Jaeger can stay in the car now. The longer he can stay in the car, the better our chances. And the track's now starting to get some grip in it. Nope, that was me. As soon as that starts to climb up, the super soft tires are they're not gonna work as well as the mediums. I was actually expecting that to go up a little bit earlier, but obviously it doesn't. When you really needed to put some distance on Kutrovit in the pits there, because he just had a majorly short pit stop. I do not know how they managed to have a pit stop and stay in first place. Inside the sponsor goal again. Great. Tire temperature's not really going down at the moment. Jaeger's about to put a lap on Romano. I think Jaeger is actually running so well now that we might not even need to do a driver change. I think he's actually about to be able to do a double stint. But then again, Baba Jones is next in the car and he is also pretty good. But right now I think we're losing about like half a second a lap or something on the leading car, which is not a very good situation, and I can't see why. It looks like it's all because of the tires. Oh, driving mistake by Romano. Big driving mistake by Romano again. I think we're going to have to pit the poor guy. He just can't take any more. Then it's my cam in the car, and do we want to... I think we should gamble now. At least with this car. He's pretty low on the front splitter, but is it low enough to warrant a fix? It's gonna take nearly 19 seconds to fix it. Not yet. Not yet. I think that splitter there might be damaged due to all of his off-track excursions. There we go. So he's in a solid last place. And there's not really much we can do about it. I think we should try and focus everything on following Jaeger here and making sure that he does as good as he possibly can. And I think we need to pit him also now, and we need to put Baba Jones in the car. And we could almost stay on the same set of tires. They are still estimated good for 42 to 44 laps. So actually let's not change that and let's go for fuel for 40 laps. And let's have a real proper endurance run here. And he's gonna run. Ah, didn't get to change that. Fueling and changing driver. It's gonna be done at almost the same time. And last driving change. There we go. Done. Driving change. Driver change. Come on, talk proper English, dude. And now we need to run only a high strategy here and a push for or neutral for the tires. So we need to stay in the car now for as long as possible. And we need to be really, really good to those tires. Yeah, we knew about that front splitter. It's broken. Yep. But I want to wait until the next pit stop to try and fix that. We don't want to repair anything before it's absolutely necessary. How's Jones's car? Looking very good. Yeah, so that damaged splitter is definitely due to collisions or yeah, something else. All the off-track excursions. Come on, Jones, you just need to make it into the last hour of the race on these tires and then we are all good. But man, does he need to be good to them to do that. Hmm. 0.6 of a second on his last. 0.6 of a second on his last stop. Hmm. And then suddenly 1.6 second faster on the next lap. His lap times are going like a roller coaster. 1 second slower suddenly. 1.2 seconds slower. And he was faster in Sector 1. No, you can't attack a bit more. I know your tires look good, but you're gonna wear them down. Well, you're gonna have him push a bit. Then suddenly it's 2.2 seconds faster. What's going on? I'm just looking at those lap times, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm looking at, oh, tire temperatures. Let's not get those too hot. Coburn behind us in the pits. No, that wasn't Coburn. Coburn is the guy who's with Adams, and yeah, that's the guy that's provisionally leading the race. 11 minutes left until we can do a last pit stop. And then we just want to drive this for as long as we can. We're on 5% on that splitter. Oh my god. We really need to bring Ham in and get that fixed. But wow. Hmm. Five more minutes. Can Mia drive an hour in the car? I don't believe she can. They're gonna need to have an extra pit stop anyway. So they're never gonna be able to pick up the kind of 50 seconds or nearly a minute they're behind the second to last place. So let's just pit the guy and make sure the car gets through the race. Tire choice. Let's put on a new fresh set of mediums. We can go the last of the race on that, and then let's fuel it for 55 laps. We're sure we can make it to the end by that. Let's fix it. No, not 55 laps. 50 laps should do it. Fixing the nose. There we go. Now we're hopelessly behind. Almost 2 minutes. Bah. Never gonna pick that up. It's just simply not gonna happen. Well, back to Jones, who's now in his fired up zone, and we can't use that for anything. Because all he needed to do was bring it across the 1 hour mark, and he's done that. But I think we should let it stay in the car for as long as it's got fuel left. We're actually still in a pretty comfortable third place. And the guy ahead of us, he owes us a pit stop. So that is not gonna change the gap much, because we need to do one more pit stop as well. But the trick about not changing tires there, that really changed the whole game. That gave us about 20 seconds. He wants to pit for first tires himself, so let's do it. Let's get Caroline into the car. Fresh set of mediums. 52 minutes remaining. With a minute and 20 per lap. Yeah, the 40 laps should take us there. Just want to have a bit of extra to burn. Now that's beginning to look warm. Also, it's not red yet, so she's going to make it to the end. Fast pit stop, 54 seconds. Actually, it might pay to just put on a bit more fuel and run the car a bit harder, since we have the condition on the parts for it, so we can run the car harder. So this is it. Last pit stop for car number 1. Doing tires and driver change. Can we zoom in? See if they're really doing something down there. The car know, they're just sitting there looking at it. It's not animated, they're just put out there, the pit crew. Fueling. And we need to get back on track. Yep. Would have loved to see that pit crew animated and see them work on the car. Now last time Anderson was amazing in the car, and now we have enough fuel and condition to go to overtake mode for the last 49 minutes of the race. So, come on! Do it right. Let's speed it up. Grab a cookie. Everyone ahead of us owes a pit stop. Pit stop with repairs for Coburn, so goodbye. That was the provisionally leading car. It's not anymore. But some of the guys ahead of us are making miraculously short pit stops at the moment. So it's McCabe. The last pit stop for that car. That's the only car ahead of us that doesn't over pit stop. I think there's something wrong when you pit on that times 12 time acceleration. I think something goes wrong. I think I should try and watch out not to do that. And as soon as the car pits in, then run all of the whole pit stop on speed 1. I think we're losing time somehow, some way. But there's some bug in the pit stops. Yeah, easy. You got medium tires, so you can use tires. And there's only like 20 laps left, so don't be too hard on yourself. Do the conditions over here? Yeah, we can push this car too. Even though there's not really much to fight for. So now she actually drove herself without a pit stop. She drove herself up to 17th place. That's pretty good. And now she's in the fired up zone, so that might be why. Can't really help you much with that. Cars ahead of us. 4 out of 5 still owes us a pit stop. At least, no, it's this car owes a pit stop, this car, and they are not gonna make it through the last 20 minutes without a pit stop, and we are only 30 seconds behind. So I think we're gonna finish this one in second place. $20 minutes left. That's Adams behind us, is now setting fastest lap of the class. He's 10 seconds behind. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up. But it actually looks like that Caroline Anderson is still picking up. That was one of the guys pitting in. 2 more left. Mia Novak is now doing driver mistakes because she's so worn down on stamina. I don't think she's going to be able to do the last of the race, but it doesn't really matter. Leading car is in the pit. Oh, he pitted out ahead of us. Damn it. 40 seconds ahead. Third place then. Walner still needs to pit. And we're only 2 seconds ahead of Adams now. Ah! Can't that Adams guy just have an accident? Well, you just need to drive 3 more minutes. You can stay in the car for 3 minutes, can't you? It's 2 laps. One minute left. Three seconds ahead of Adams now. It's actually beginning to look like we can do this. Not on these tires though, we need to relax a bit. Time's over, and Novak does another mistake. It's Anderson on the last lap. So let's go full attack, we don't even care about tire temperatures now. You better allow your teammate to pass, buddy. Come on, last lap, 3rd place finish from a 1-2 start. That's actually not too bad, and it looks like we're going to have a kind of a formation finish here too. Ah, Novak is all the way down to 4 on her stamina. That's just insane. Last straight. Before the start finish line. Yes! 3rd place. Sponsor objective achieved. Everybody survived. Car 2 was an utter failure though. The drivers on that car just don't have the stamina to race. Well, that was a very good follow-up to the race in Monza. I'm very happy about the podium finish, but we should have won this one, I think. Right up until the middle of the race, we had such a good position, also so good track position, that we should have converted that to a win. I think what did it was our inability to run some of the softer tires. We could have run some super soft tires and done single stints on those instead, and that would have been faster, but still we gained a lot of time. Actually took back what was what in the end became the 3rd place by double stinting a pair of mediums. Anyway, no rules breaking of any kind, so we're good. You can see here all the guys that had penalties. Still ended up in 3rd and last place. Yeah, nice trophy. Candlestick. Well, that's the team to beat, apparently. Kurt Jaeger, Caroline Anderson moved down in the points to 4th place. So did Rico Bubba Jones actually came in. He can't move down positions because he wasn't in the team at the last race. So how that happened, I don't know. He can't. That's just not possible. Me and Novak and Mike Ham. Yeah, of course, they did terrible. So 3rd place in the championship. That's on target. What do the fans have to say? Loving your work. You make my weekends complete. Thank you. Points mean prizes. Yeah. Champagne time. Sure. Wow, the loading time. I want to go back and see that South Korean driver that we scouted. I'm actually pretty excited to see how he's performing, or what kind of a guy he is. Bubba Jones' morale here went up by something. Caroline Anderson is injured. Oh no. She's got one of these dodgy neck thing, and it's impacting her fitness by 10 points, and it's going to last 8 weeks. Damn it. No changes to any of the other drivers. A little bit of changes to the relationship with the mechanics. Chairman's happiness goes up by 3% to 100%. Marketability goes forward by 0.33%, so we can get even better sponsors. Yeah. Everything's looking good. Car number 2. Better morale for my cam now. Mia Novak continues to diminish in her skills. She's just not good enough. And she just keeps getting worse. Money-wise, 1.77 million. Shimizu Boom Racing are the names they come up with for this. Beck's Beach, Pamplona Racing. Shimizu Boom. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Candlestick. Of course us, and then all the standings again. Maybe we should use some of that good standing with the chairman to ask for more money, and then use some of that to develop, since it's very secure here. So let's actually go and request additional funds. That's going to give us 1.5 million. We want to do that. Want to convert some of that to money. Yeah, one of our drivers, Jin Sung Lee, is actually one of the paid drivers that I had a contract offer for. He's accepted the contract. So I think contract agreed, and we can now get Mia Novak out, because we're going to replace Ji Sung Lee here with Caroline Anderson and put her as the first driver on car number 2. So let's begin by replacing Mia Novak here with Ji Sung Lee. Yes. Then we want to swap him with Caroline. Yes. And we want to swap her to driver number 1 over here, even though she's injured. And we want to go into scouting here so we can see. I should have scouted Semi Young here. Controversial, hard-headed. No, he's not worth it. Definitely not. So who should we scout? Should definitely be drivers that can do endurance series, all ages, all abilities. And then sort them by team, so you can go down to the bottom and see the guys that are currently not driving for a team. And let's see what we got here. We got an Falco Engelhardt. He actually looks like someone who could be good. I can't add anymore. I've got my queue all filled out. Well, I'm not gonna wait until those guys get better. So 65 for this guy in stamina. We definitely need to change this guy to some other guy. Needs to be someone with fixing and tires. What do we have? Who's good at fixing and tires? He is. He's at 71. Swap those guys. And this guy's actually not too good at tires, but do we have anyone who's better at refueling at the same time? We actually don't. And this guy is pretty good for the rear jack. Let's swap him in. Front jack 84. Put that guy in. Do we have guys here that are basically good for nothing? We have this Fischer. That guy. And see if we have someone who's good at tires and refueling. We actually do here. So we should, maybe we should just hire him. It's gonna cost us 200,000. And then we're gonna swap 7 and 10. We should swap this guy with this guy. Precious team as we can get right now. Let's look at the males. Just hired Jin-Sung Lee. Yeah. And Mia Novak is out of work. He is. We have a scouting report. And we had this from Ji-Sung Lee that he was ready to drive for us. Shimizu Boom won the Ardennes. And we know that Caroline now has a leg issue, and we needed to manage pit crew. And do we want to give interviews? Well, let's do it. You attempted a quick pit stop during the last race, but it resulted in a mistake. Your very own chairman criticized the move, saying that motorsport isn't the place for gambling. Well, we better please the chairman and say he's right. I should have been more careful. Well. Car condition updates. That dropped 52%, 49% on the other car. And then about the team that won again. That's basically it. And now we have a lot of car repairs to go through, so that needs to happen. Car repairs are complete. Should get a mail about that. We did. We need to go through one more day here. Point system change coming for international. GMA members will debate the change to the International Endurance Cup point system next week in a move that could have huge impact for how the Drivers and Teams Championship are played out. The rule for debate is point given out for the top 6 drivers with 10 points sold out for the race winner. This is somewhat old-fashioned approach. Yeah, we're gonna vote no to that. That point system is just killing everyone. Stupid point system. Headquarters, we're 14 weeks away from completion. And we're designing new brakes. And those are finished in 2 days. We are currently improving on gearbox and reliability improvement on what? Well, we don't have any parts that per se need these improvements, except for some of the original parts. So all that's good enough. Then the brakes are finished. We can go in and fit those to car number 1. And what? Did they not get content by? Oh well. And we need to go in and we need to change this to this one, and we need to change this one to this one. So performance and reliability needs to be improved on the new parts, of course. Very important. And we need to assign the right amount of staff here for each department. Yeah. Continue. What happened? Nothing. And it's all the way. New haircut. My +5 marketability. Well, hire a new paid driver and he gets a new haircut and his marketability goes up. Yay! Win, 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 and then some win. Sorry, I need to change to this view also. Done. And then we need to do the vote. Politics. And that's the one that we're gonna vote against. Hopefully everyone's gonna be against it. Do not get that point system. Please don't. No! That just did not happen. You know, when this happened, I'm almost ready to just ditch this game, because this point table just ruins the game completely. It's so hard when you're at the bottom of the field and you don't even get points every race. It's so hard to improve on your position, because it doesn't matter if you finish 9th or 10th. Doesn't matter. We can cash in another million by doing what? A drinks company have approached us with a new idea. To create a hilarious little plastic figurine of Kurt Jäger and ship him with every crate sold. Yeah, sure. Kurt Jäger's morale is going to go down by 10. It's already at 100%. Chairman's happiness, we are already above goal. So let's take the million. And the damn points rule is through. Luckily for us, it's from next season. Maybe we can do even better by then. We need to use some of these money and design new parts for the car. So we already designed new gearbox, new brakes, and that means the time has come to design some suspension. Corner speed plus 25 to max, so that will get better with development. We'll take that. It's going to cost us 800,000 to produce this part. Then as you produce better parts, the abilities get better, the prices get higher. Scouting report. Stop, 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 stop. Scouting report is back in. Scouted. Not heavy controversial. That was semi-young. And who do we have as Saran? Rio de Janeiro expert. Not. Nope. None of them is worth anything. Look in the mail. See if we got telemetry center. Yeah, you wanted a telemetry. Well, if you'll pay for it, I'll get a telemetry center, dude. Scout report's finished. Suspension is needed for that the next track. We can just have that design, the suspension design finished before the before the next race. And I'm not sure it's a good idea to fit that because it's at 40% reliability, and that's just not gonna do anything good for anyone. I'm even thinking that these brakes are going to be a liability to run those yet because they're only at 54%. I actually don't think we should run them in the next race. And there's a new scouting report in, and who would that would be Rolf Lindorf. He actually looks like a very single-seater expert. Okay, that's bad. Feedback 14. Compare him to, say, Rico. Oh, he's better all around. But we don't know what he wants for payment. And right now Rico is pretty cheap. So I don't think we should do anything about that. Well, guys, that's really it for this time. We did the race, we did all the prep work after that. I think it's just one more thing to do, and that's to check if any of these sponsor offers here has changed in value, and they really haven't. So we can't really do anything with that. Or maybe we should take one of... No, they all end in one race, so yeah, we definitely need better offers than this. So let's just wait and not take any of those. That was it. That was really what we needed to do for the whole of this race and session. Thanks for watching. Go to the YouTube channel, click the subscribe button, go to Twitch, click the follow button, and you'll get notified when I have new live streams. Once again, thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for tonight. Have a good night's sleep when you get to that. Bye bye.
I'm running away from this pain. I'm trying to find a new way where the sun's shining down on my face. I'm running away. You're in a toxic relationship. Time to be free. I'm trying to find a new way where the sun's shining down on my face. I'm running away.